respected each other's prog kind of chops and thinking, and then we became friends. And then when this started taking off and MoonBirds and Proof and everything, we got together, we had some calls, and we were like, we should do something together here. Like, how can we collaborate together on some of this stuff? And, he was a member of the Grails Drop, so you probably saw some of his art that went out there as well that we did.
We got together, we had some calls.
He's not like he's joining us, like there's not that type of announcement, but, we're going to be much tighter, let's just put it that way, and there'll be some fun stuff to announce soon.
Very interesting. I see a bunch of hands.
What do those mean? I haven't used enough spaces.
We got to get you around.
Oh, thank you. Everybody's high-fiving me.
Yeah. No, the hand up is people patiently waiting to ask a question. So if you don't mind and have some time to hang.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, all right, cool. So let's just start with Eddie, because you're the closest.
All right, sure. All right, my question's pretty much as follows, and I'll be succinct with it. I asked it to Zagabond from Azuki at the time, and I'm just curious as to your thoughts, right? So, you guys are talking about all the crazy stuff that you guys are working on. Frankly, I trust that you guys will do it based off your pedigree, based off, whatever. I understand. You guys are building. Now, given the circumstances of being, in an NFT and Web3 community, you kind of have it's a different sense than just like a stakeholder in a company. What would you hope for? Like, if you could have your perfect vision, what would Proof holders and MoonBird holders be doing to help further your vision of the company, of the collective, whatnot? Like, what should me and my fellow bird holders be doing?
I appreciate that question. I'll just drop a lot of stuff. Why not? Because it's 420. I haven't smoked any weed, but I've definitely had a beer. So I will say that.
Don't get crazy over there.
Yeah, one beer.
A full beer.
It's a Belgian beer, and I have 3/4 of it, so that's good. It's a strong ale. So we're starting something inside of MoonBirds that will probably be coming out very shortly. It's basically going to be called Propaganda, and it is our wing that is going to enable the community to do amazing things on our behalf. And so, you nest your bird. Very basic things like, you'll get 250 stickers of your particular bird with the number underneath it. Obviously only put those in places where you're allowed to put them. We'll have a bird sighting channel inside of Discord, so you can talk about how you can go out and spread the love and awareness of the MoonBirds all across the world. And we'll have various tools in there that will really help our community kind of get the word out, and we can empower them with free stuff to do so, right? So that's
one would even say get the bird out.
Get the bird out. Just writes itself.
Kevin, just please hire Lee. Right?
Totally, just the meme master. So there's a lot to be done on that side. I would say in terms of, this is going to sound weird, but in terms of things that you can do, the one thing that I really want is every time someone holds a MoonBird, they are your best brand advocate, right? Because they're proud of it. They can use it as the PFP. They can use it if they decide to start a bar and have it as their imagery. Whatever they want to do, they can go out and do it with, because they own the actual artwork. So the more unique people we get holding these things, the better. And that's really kind of what I'm excited about and want to push towards. So if people, big DAOs and people that I talk to, when they say, hey, I'm going to come sweep the floor and pick up 20, I'm like, well, that's great. But at the same time, I kind of would rather them be in unique individual hands. Like when you look at the Proof Pass and you see, we're over 90% unique holders. That's a stat that I really care about, because I just want more people that are in this community and committed to it. And one of the things that the reason the apes have such leverage, and it was brilliant, is they said, okay, we're not stopping with 10,000. We're going to do these derivative drops afterwards that are larger. And you forget that those end up in the hands of other people. And then all of a sudden you have a much larger ecosystem of people that are your best fans and your best advocates on your behalf, that are natural marketing vehicles to go out and tell the world about what you're building. So I will say that don't expect us to stop with MoonBirds. One thing is for certain though, like we don't want to. This 2.5 ETH drop that we did was a round of financing for the company. Is the capital required to go out and build and take on the bigs without raising a ton of money. I mean, you saw like some of these companies have raised hundreds of millions of dollars that are in the NFT space from venture capitalists. So what we want to do going forward is it's not about another. You won't see, hey, MoonBirds season 2 and it's 2.5 ETH. Like, no way. Like this is about taking care of our existing community and making sure the next round of this goes to them, for free or whatever it may be. So the expansion plans are going to be about how we can get it into more people's hands in a thoughtful way at a low price, if that makes sense. Now we're like 5 days into this, so don't expect this tomorrow. We've got a lot to build first, but this is like when I'm thinking about. I hate to plan more than 6 months out, but when I'm thinking about this year's roadmap, we have some really exciting stuff much later in the year. But we first have to hire a team to make this all happen.
So you're telling us there's a 20K companion collection coming like in June. That's what you're telling us.
I can't say that.
Wow.
I can't say that. But
Well,
I can tell you that it would be a sad world if the world of NFT collectors. I'll give you an example. I was just on the phone with someone who I shouldn't name publicly, but at Coinbase, and we were talking about their NFT plans, and they're kind of expanding into NFTs. They have 60 million users that are coming on board, and they're going to be pushing NFTs to this community of people that they have. I mean, you think we're nothing. We're so tiny right now. MoonBirds
This is exactly what I was saying before.
Yeah, it's so tiny. So we have to think about. You all realize that the awesome part about it is you're locked into the first inning of this thing. So for us, we think about what we're going to go build over the course of the next decade with this project, and that's really exciting. That means expanding this out to a much larger community. So it's not just 6,000, 8,000 people that say, hey, I'm proud to be part of this, but it can be something much larger. But at the same time. And this was brilliant by Apes. So what Bored Apes did really well is that the next project that they launched, whether it be the Kennel Club or the Mutants, like there was no confusion in the artwork. So you knew if you had an ape. It wasn't like, oh, here's just season 2 of the apes and they look somewhat similar. They did something completely different, and that was so that they wouldn't confuse and dilute the initial holders, right? So that's an important piece to keep in mind as well.
Honestly, that's like pretty much everything that I wanted to know. I'm super excited for propaganda. I hope to be a distributor of propaganda for good. Normally that's a very negative connotation, but genuinely, I love it. And also, just one last quick question. Does bird follow bird apply?
Bird follow bird. I'll follow you right now. Although you don't have a bird as your actual.
No,
I know. I don't know.
I don't know that I can
That
follow.
counts.
Look at my.
I feel like we need the receipts.
It's all or nothing, Eddie. All or nothing.
No, dude.
Eddie, I don't even say.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Eddie, let me be straight with you, man. You're very handsome, man. But the bird, bro.
In fairness, I haven't changed my header or my bio in a few days. I need to change it. I will change it promptly. I can promise you that.
That's a stoic look you got on your face, though. I gotta give you props for that. You look pretty badass.
in that photo, like, what were you looking out into the distance at? Do you recall?
A moon, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
spot across the horizon.
Actually,
Owl in flight.
no, seriously, I was looking at a really nice branch that looked perfect for a perch to nest on.
He was looking for a nest.
That's right.
You know what?
That's right.
I'll give you a follow for that. You were looking for a nest. Okay, I just followed you. Done.
All right.
Hey, Kevin.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Grumpy, go for it.
Hey,
Somebody
I just
goes.
want to say that I use Oak and Zero, and I love it, like, both. So thanks for that, I guess.
Oh, thanks, Robbie. Appreciate that.
And I wanted to say too, like, I haven't been a part of like any big group before that I've been so like bullish on. And like on Saturday, I didn't get into the mint raffle, but I was able to like, I was debating on getting like an Azuki or getting 3 MoonBirds, and I picked up 3 MoonBirds for like around 8 ETH each, and I was like probably the best decision I ever made. And I had a question though. For nesting, is it gonna be like? Are you guys aiming for like this week or end of the month? Like I saw two different, I guess, statements for it.
Yeah, so I was out most of the day today for other things. Did a couple podcasts today, which is great. But I would say that the last I heard, and I'll have to check in with engineering, is that we were still aiming for Friday, this Friday. So I would say worst case scenario, this gets pushed back to either Saturday or Monday. But we've got the designs for V1 of nesting done. There's a lot to do. It'll allow you to start nesting, progress indicators, things like that, unnesting. So all that functionality will be built in. We should hopefully hit Friday, but worst case, I would say Monday at the latest.
Cool. And I guess the follow-up question: did you expect the price to get this high this fast? I know you don't like to talk about price.
No, I did not. I did not at all. I literally thought it was going to be. I thought we'd go at 2.5, and I thought there would be. I knew some DAOs that wanted to dip in and grab some, and I didn't know because we had a lot of proof collective people that they just got two, right? So it's like, are they going to hold? Are they going to sell one of them? Then there's 1,000 birds that they hit the market and provide a bunch of liquidity. So I didn't really know. I'm horrible at predicting price. Like that's one thing I've come to realize. Like when the proof passes went out, I saved a handful back, and I told my friends, like I had some friends, and I said, like, oh, listen, I'll just give them to you at 1 ETH, and I gave them all away to friends, and then basically I actually overcommitted. I had to start buying them off the secondary, but the price started like going up, but I told them I didn't want to like tell a friend I'd give them something and then not deliver, and so I actually had to buy proof passes, my own passes, back off the secondary. And it was just like ridiculous. So I'm horrible at predicting price. That's also why I don't like to look at it. It's like I just want to go heads down and build. So yeah, that's I did not expect it to be where it is today, but I'm excited. I'm excited for just this is like I think it's risen really high in terms of price. And I don't want us to there to be this big like skyrocket up and crash. I'd rather there be this nice gradual growth as we prove ourselves. So I think the best growth is going to come from, and the real growth is going to come from, things will settle down in the next week, and it's either going to stay kind of flat, or it'll take a little dip. But who knows? Like I said, I'm horrible at this. But I think when we'll really start to see people understand what we're trying to build is when we actually ship more product. So as those, and I told my team I want to release early and often. So I don't like these big, 3-6 month development cycles where a team just goes down, you don't hear from them forever, and then all of a sudden they may or may not drop something 6 months later. I'd much rather us share prototypes along the way, get you kicking the tires on things really early on, and then, pushing code, new stuff hits the website every couple of weeks. So in terms of development cycles, we aim to do code pushes like every 1 to 2 weeks. So expect new features and functionality to kind of follow that cycle once we get a proper team put in place. So that's kind of the thinking there.
Cool. Thank you for answering my questions. Also, does bird follow bird?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
One other thing I was going to say to you all is I have time for one more, and then I got to run because it's I got to hang with my wife and actually eat some food. But yeah, let's do one more question. Who'd like to jump on?
Me, baby.
Matt,
Let's do it.
Can you ask him?
Kevin, why did you pick the Firehead?
Because that's the way my head is right now, man. Everything's on fire right now. There's all these fires.
Mine too.
So.
Mine too. Bird follow bird, man. Come on. Thank you for everything you've done. I appreciate you.
Hey, Kevin, can I ask a real question? Sorry, real quick. I know you've said I was a fan since Dig Nation and the podcast, loved it all. Could you talk about the nesting and how many levels are there? So we know there's straw. Does it go all the way up to diamond? Are there like 7 or 8 classes?
Yeah, it's a good question. So essentially, what we have right now, and this is we're going to go into do a deep dive about the attribute specific benefits and the actual just benefits from nesting. And I will say something that's important. I know there's been a lot of confusion around this, and people are like, well, what if I don't have one of those attributes floating above my head or something like that? Am I still eligible for cool stuff? I would say that 95% of the benefits are going to be for everyone. So it doesn't matter what attribute you have, it doesn't matter what style of bird you have, like you're all going to be eligible for the same amazing gear just based on the nesting. I have people that have reached out to me, and I won't name names yet, but like I'll give you an example. This might kill the floor on something, but who knows? I'll just say it anyway. I have an artist that reached out to me and said, hey, I do really amazing skeleton art that's crazy. I would like to do an airdrop to all nested skeleton moonbirds. Like, is that a possible thing you could do? And I was like, yeah, of course it's a possible thing we can do. Like, we can make that happen, right? So there are going to be certain things that I don't know if I can ship you like an Elon Musk flamethrower for the flame heads, but there'll be certain attributes where we come out and say it makes sense. Someone approaches us, either a brand or there's some type of collaboration that happens. The Grail, a bird with a little grail above its head. We have a project called Grails. You can imagine what that would open up for you if you hold one of those. The Chromie Squiggle, I've already said this before. I know Snowfro, he created Chromie Squiggles. The plan there is to do an airdropped, unminted Chromie Squiggle, so you won't know you get to one of the Chromie Squiggle holders that has that attribute above their head. So there'll be certain fun things like that, but rest assured, if you don't have one of these crazy attributes, like the team that I'm putting in place that handles the in real life benefits and then the online and the airdrops and everything else and the benefits, and especially eventually when we get to the tokenomics and governance side of things, that will be broadly applicable to everyone that's being nested. And so it's not going to be about cutting out. You won't think like, oh gosh, I didn't have the diamond, so I didn't get X number of tokens extra. Like that's not cool. Like we need to make sure those type of big benefits are broadly applicable to everyone. So in terms of the nests, we don't want there to be this like 15 nest system where you're like, okay, am I on the like purple gold nest now? Like, or what, like we don't want it to be so confusing. So we have bronze, silver, gold, and then we'll probably do diamond as the last. And then once you hit diamond status, there'll probably be these little feathers that get associated and kind of added on as additional nesting happens on top of that. So you can be like, oh, I'm a level 15 diamond, or, just so it's really simple and it's not like this endless level of nests that you have to hit. And then also your nests are going to be used in our metaverse as well, which is kind of fun. And our metaverse is going to be unlike any. The cool thing about our metaverse is no matter how many people create these fun, expansive worlds, and there will be some great ones out there, like Sandbox and the others, people that are creating these fun things, and we'll make sure our characters are compatible with those and they can play and run around and do fun things. But aside from that, ours is completely different. So it's not going to be competitive to those at all. It's more about community, display of NFTs, and a bunch of other things that I'm not ready to talk about yet until we get a little bit further into the actual product development. But it's going to be, it's just going to be completely. I think metaverse is a pretty loaded term because everyone kind of points to the Mark Zuckerberg version of the metaverse, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I do like some of them. I have liked what I've seen in a Sandbox and some of the other stuff. Like it will be a fun place to hang out, and we'll certainly find places there to hang as well.
Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, before you go, I just want to say thank you for doing the raffle. I thought that was a incredibly fair way to do it, given the current market conditions, and you guys pivoted on that quickly, and I thought it was great. I thought it was very respectable of you and the team to do it that way, not hand out, allow lists to your friends or people you felt obliged to. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. It was a tough one. It was like I didn't want a massive gas war. It's like I hate to see people losing money on gas. It's like the worst possible scenario because there's nothing you get out of that, right? There's nothing you get back. That's I'm in retrospect, I'm glad we went that route. And I think you're going to see. I've been talking to a lot of other projects that have approached me in the last couple of days that have big drops coming out. And said, hey, we're moving to that similar model because we don't want to really screw people out of gas, which I think is a good thing as long as we can work and do our best at preventing some of the fraud that happens in that world as well, which we know is definitely a thing. So awesome. Well, I got to run. Thank you all for holding these events. I would say, the question came up earlier, what can you do? It's like I will do my best to pop into these nighttime kind of hangouts and everything that you all are hosting. So the more you do these on Twitter and we talked about what we're building. I think the better. And just want to say welcome you all to the first inning of a many year long journey together. And I hope to see you all at the various events. I'm going to be at VCon. I'm speaking at Gary's conference. I hope to bump into a bunch of you there. I'll be at NFT NYC. We're going to throw a huge MoonBirds party there. So look at those dates. You don't even have to buy a conference pass. Like screw that. I'm not even buying a conference pass. I'm not going to the conference. I'm actually just going to go for the parties. And we'll just like get together and have an awesome party and hang out, celebrate together, and announce some new stuff there as well. So anyway, have a great night, everyone, and great to hear from you all.
See you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you coming
Kevin.
through. Appreciate all the alpha you just dropped on our heads that now we get to talk about and be excited about. Really appreciate that.
Dude, I
Wow.
just tweeted about this. There's like not many founders that will do that, where they'll come and like just interact directly with the community and actually just be on that like ground level. I love it.
By the way, anyone that didn't get a question answered, just remember that in the MoonBirds Discord, there's a place that you can actually currently submit questions that are intended to be answered on another space, I believe, that they're going to be hosting potentially tomorrow. Check the Discord. I think there's more info there, but just make sure that, like, if you didn't have your question answered, post it there.